There will be bear markets about twice every 10 years and recessions about twice every 10 to 12 years. But nobody has been able to predict them reliably. We are facing a bearish market situation at the moment in crypto, and it can turn into a Great Depression. Can we predict? Not really, as nobody can precisely. Three Arrows Capital CEO Zhu Su must have not predicted the current market scenario for sure. Anyways, today we are here in the studio again with the technology expert on blockchain on the show of Crypto Masters. But before that, let me welcome all the viewers of Crypto TV. Here's your host Parvati Nirvan along with the guest Sristhi Assudani from Delhi, who is a blockchain leader and has her expertise in various use cases of blockchain like financial services, supply chain, healthcare and payments. Hello and welcome to our show.
Thank you, Parvati. Pleasure to be here.
Great. So let's begin with the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the first and the foremost, because we know that the Ethereum Merge is the hot topic currently in the market. We have been waiting for Ethereum Merge for a very long time, and we are continuously seeing the delays that are happening, right? So can you actually tell us like the why these delays are happening? Also your understanding about the merge.
So Ethereum Merge, if we say what is essentially is, so Ethereum is one of the leading blockchain networks, right, as you know, after Bitcoin. And the challenge that we are facing with Ethereum, with the current version, is one is the limited throughput which it is having.
Right.
And second, again, is from a sustainability point because of the computational power involved with the proof of work mechanisms.
Right.
So essentially, this is a move. It's a starting move and a part of a phased move to move into a proof of stake consensus mechanism, where the mining which happens in proof of work would be essentially raised by change to staking with the proof of stake mechanism.
Right, their consensus mechanism.
The consensus.
They are upgrading that.
They're moving to a different consensus mechanism.
Right.
So what essentially Merge is, it's a part of the entire phase of movement of Ethereum mainnet from proof of work to proof of stake. And it's a very small part of it where, so the phase one is like the beacon chain,
right,
where we are essentially moving from a monolith architecture to a modular architecture.
Right.
And we are differentiating the execution part and the consensus part of it more from a data availability and a bandwidth standpoint for the network.
Right. So last year only we have been hearing from 2021 and we were expecting around January, February this merge to happen. It got delayed and further got delayed, and then we were expecting it right now. Like it's just gonna happen, and again we hear the announcement. So why do you think, I mean, if generally what we hear is there are bug fixing that they require, but why this is taking so much of time? Why these developers are or the community itself are not coming to reach that point where the merge can actually happen?
So what we need to understand here, that the volume that we're talking about here is somewhere around 1 million transactions per day, and it's a live network. So we are responsible not only of the transactions, but there is more than $3 billion of transactions happening and value store of value already on the Ethereum network.
Right.
So a part of the merger would involve maintaining the live network, which is Ethereum mainnet, and of course also the upgradation to the beacon chain, which is there. So that's why, to avoid the technical errors, this is something which is happening in a phased way, and so of course they are moving with a check on the Ropsten, one of the testnets network which is there. But Ethereum, the ETH 2.0 or Serenity, which we call, is focused more on the security aspect, and that's how it's been positioned. So of course the volume and the transactions happening, I think that's the reason why the merge is taking, and there are some delays which are happening.
Okay. So anytime soon, what do you think when they actually would come out with the Ethereum merge?
I think it's Vitalik and his team would be in a much better position to answer that. But then, of course, with August, I think it was the scheduled is for the merge is August, and for the sharding part, where actually we will see a benefit.
But that is also delayed, right?
Of course, that has to. I mean, it's also on a delay where it's scheduled to be done on 2023. But yes, of course, we are all waiting. It's a gigantic network actually, so it would be done in some time, and we're all waiting for the benefits of the same.
Right. So, do you think by any chance this, because there are a lot of layer 2 solutions, if we talk about Ethereum is the first platform rather after Bitcoin, like actually as a platform, the first platform to offer smart contracts. So, do you think they are trying to provide layer 2 solutions and that's the reason of the delay? By any chance?
No, I don't. I would not agree to that because so I'll just put it in a small thing. So how Ethereum has actually planned a movement from proof of work of proof of stake.
Their consensus mechanism. Yes.
So is in a one part is the beacon chain, which we talk about the merge.
Yes.
The second is the shard, where we'll have another chain, which will be the shard chains, but we'll have 64 shards. And the third would be like a docking, where both the networks would come to a consensus mechanism, which is there. So this is how they've planned it, and this once the implementation of shard would happen, that's actually where the scalability and the transaction throughput would come. And layer 2s would be essentially scaling the network. So the shards is actually a layer 2. So this would be a part of that. So
so after the merge, what we will see is more layer 2 solutions from Ethereum itself.
Yes, definitely. You'll have to look out on more L2 solutions. So merge, the benefit would of the merge would be more from a data availability and increasing of the bandwidth. So efficiencies would come more and it's estimated to be somewhere around 99% in the network bandwidth and the data availability. But the actual benefit which we want to see in the reduction of the cost would come post the implementation of the shards.
So we're only able to actually figure it out once that happens, right?
Once that is implemented, definitely.
Definitely. Great. So why do you think these different kind of blockchains like Polkadot, Cardano, they are offering and they are better at offering layer 2 solutions than Ethereum?
So Parvati, how it is that these are different approaches, which and it's really good names that you've taken. One is Cardano, and you've
very popular blockchain solutions.
Yeah, and Polkadot. These are all both are ex co-founders of Ethereum.
Right.
So we talk about Charles Hoskinson, or you talk about Dr. Gavin Woods for Polkadot, and the implementation of POS has already been done in these. So Cardano is one of the first POS blockchains which is there, and Polkadot essentially is working on the interoperability. And when we talk about Polygon, like you said, is one of the leading side chains. So it's already working on the scalability factor. So essentially, all of them are working to make it more scalable, so that the retail users have a better experience, and we're not waiting for the transactions to be recorded and the state to be maintained over the network, where it's a huge network in Ethereum.
Right. So with the Ethereum merge, we have ETH 1.0 currently as a coin, and with the merge will come ETH 2.0. So what is this particularly coin will offer that is not being there in ETH 1.0?
We need to understand between ETH 2.0 and ETH 1.1, what 1.0, what the difference would be is essentially, with the way we would handle the transaction throughput. So when we talk about in ETH 1.0, it's somewhere around 15 to 30 transactions per second.
Currently.
Currently. And there's a promise of nearly 1 lakh transactions per second with the Ethereum scaling to POS consensus, but then again that would come again in a phased manner. So
yes, definitely.
So what that means, the increased number of transactions means a more adoption of the Ethereum network, which means more utilization of the tokens. When we talk about ETH 2.0 as compared to ETH 1, and how the supply demand mechanics works, this would definitely come with an increase of value to Ethereum.
So you think it will increase the value of ETH platform with respect to the ETH 2.0 coin?
Yes, essentially it would mean that only, because if we are having a promise of say 1 lakh transactions per second, where we'll have a scalable network where more dApps would be working, and with the kind of work which is happening on the layer 2s, this would definitely mean that there would be an increasing promise of value for the native token E2.0.
But this is the promise that is coming from Ethereum sides or Vitalik Buterin. If we say, well, what are your views? What do you think they are able to achieve 1 lakh transaction per second?
I think that would, it's already there are chains, blockchain networks who are delivering solutions. So like we talk about, Cardano is already working on a 250 transactions per second, and with the latest upgrade, that would again increase phenomenally. So I really trust, the foundation, Ethereum Foundation, and of course even the partners like Consensus who are working on the protocol engineering part of it. And there's a lot of good work which is being done. So I think there's a lot of good scientific research and mathematical proofs when they say that they will be able to scale to such large transactions.
So you believe that, right?
Yes, I do.
Great. Yeah. Now, as we talked about Ethereum Merge, so I also want to talk about Vasil hard fork, which is happening in Cardano. So do you want to share like some views on that, or shed some light on this merge?
So like we spoke, like with Cardano, like the founder is focused more, on the scalability part and making it more decentralization, and they are working in a completely different way. They started with the POS mechanism, and with the latest hard fork, which is Vasil hard fork, they're done. That's very good enhancements which are happening. One is, of course, the cost of the transactions would decrease. That would be more because they are making the transaction data that will be put on the blockchain network smaller. It will be more decentralized because an on-chain data storage would be facilitated, and of course more scalable with their implementation of Hydra. So and then there is a lot of network connectivity and scalability features with respect to the how they are going to do the pipeline testing and the logging which is being done. Okay. So what the founder proposes, Charles Hoskinson, is that definitely this would mean to a much larger adoption of Cardano in the DeFi realm, where more and more DeFi apps would be hosted on Cardano.
So we have recently witnessed a very big event in the crypto history, that is Terra Luna Crash. What do you think were the shortcomings, and what are the takeaways from the technological aspect?
So with the Terra Luna Crash, as we call, it's like one of the big events are happening. But the stablecoin itself, the algorithm stablecoin, the mechanism is quite separate from the way the other stablecoins are operating. What essentially a stablecoin does, or it maintains the volatility part of it. Now, what's happening here is that it's being pegged to its own reserved assets.
Right.
Which is Luna, which is the native coin, which is ensuring the security part of the Terra network, which is there. What has happened here is, of course, has been initiated by, it's unknown, and there's a lot of talk about that there are big players involved, whales involved for the crash, where it's an impended move, and it's a kind of mechanism where things have been made so that the Terra stablecoin moves into a death spiral.
Okay.
So it's like that. So basically what has happened, that the reserved asset, which is Luna, the value of it has diminished so much that it's become almost unsustainable to maintain the peg.
Yeah, almost nearing zero.
So that's how it happened, where people were like, okay, now this is a dip we should buy, this is a dip we should buy. But in 4 days it was almost zero and gone. And that's like a big question on retail users, that you say it's a stable coin, and
yeah, it puts a question mark. And I have a question for that also, because because of the stable coin, like now that you have mentioned, so because the stable coin, and we know that what happened with the Celsius recently, they froze all the account and withdrawals. So where does a stable coin stand from that perspective, if we actually look at it? Because it to the users, the customers which are going and using and doing the transaction, it is such a first of all disbelief, it comes as a shock, and then there is a lot of discomfort. So where it makes a stable coin stand? What do you think?
So what we need to understand here, Parvati, in the first way, these stable coins is one of the digital assets that the crypto industry per se is conceiving. Apart from, we have CBDCs and you have NFTs and other tokens right there, and the mechanisms that's governing the stable coins is not new, right?
Right.
Is this something?
It's the old concept.
It's the old concept which is available in money markets, and we see all these fluctuations in forex trading and
they
all
made the coin stable.
Yeah, it's a marketing term. It's first of all, it's not stable and it's not a coin. It's a smart contract. So so it's a way to position that okay, this is what we're doing. We're trying to make it more easy for you so that you're abstracted of the volatility and you're pegging it to commodity. Say it's a fiat or a gold. So of course, this has a deep impact on retail users but what we also need to understand, the impact is only not on crypto, right? You talk about the bear markets. We are seeing how the stock market is being affected. So it's a community-wide global.
They're going hand in hand.
Yeah, it's going hand in hand. So everybody is affected. It's a correction which is happening across the markets, and crypto, like you said, like you introduced. This is something like eventually in the previous years also it has come up because in a sense the technology has a great value to offer. And when we talk about currency as such, like an asset like stablecoin, there's a lot of work. We are trying to achieve something really new. We are trying to innovate. It needs a lot of stamina to get new financial models. We've been, you understand the payments and the banking industry, how deep the infrastructure and the techs are. So this is a creation of a new financial services or a new technology innovation. So with the upcoming regulations and the regulatory bodies coming up.
Where do you see the future of stablecoin now after this?
For the future of stable coins, it's definitely going to be not going to go away, because there would be a mechanism required for making it more easy and seamless for consumers to go. But then there would be other mechanisms also where banks are having CBDCs.
Don't you think that it puts more questions on the stability of stablecoin itself after all these events that are happening recently?
Yes, of course. There are questions, and there are also questions
Doubts.
on about the organizations as such, and there is a differentiation that you need to do with the awareness of the industry between the legitimate models and some projects which are not legitimate. So that's a kind of due diligence that also needs to be done from the end customer or the retail user.
Right. So what do you think, how does it position in the market, stablecoin? What will now users have to look upon if they have to now invest in stablecoin? What do you like? Not exactly we actually give investment advice, but just for the understanding of the viewers.
So I would like to say here that when we talk about stable coins and say stable coins or altcoins and cryptocurrencies as such, there are many which are there. I would feel that you need to really study the project. You need to see how the governance is happening, how the mechanisms are, who the founders are. There's a lot of due diligence that needs to be done, and there's a lot of good work which is being happening on the regulation standpoint also. So to make this more sustainable, and we are moving towards that. There's a gradual movement towards that.
Because big organizations are failing, so it definitely put a lot of question marks at the same time. And at the same time, currently we are at a stage where the market is also not really, it's not bullish.
So another thing here, which you also need to know, that even in the financial markets, these rundowns happen where big players are wiped off in a day because of the manipulations or the speculations that the whales are doing in the financial market.
So you think it's something like that happened with Terra Luna?
Yes,
and then
yes,
with
of
Celsius?
course. Celsius is completely different. They have gone for an insolvency, and what kind of insolvency, I have not gone deep into that. But when you talk about Terra, absolutely, it's a manipulation, it's a speculation which is happening by the big whales, and this is something which already happens in the other markets. It's just that it's not transparent. Since it's blockchain, you can actually see the movements, how the acquisition of funds has happened, how the liquidity has been removed.
Yeah, you can track it.
So it's just that it's come into notice, but it's something which is prevalent for sure in the other markets.
Great. So thank you so much, Sristhi, for being here, taking your time out, and part of this discussion.
I'm honored to be part of this initiative, and it's a great platform, and you're doing a great work at Crypto TV. The kind of awareness you're bringing to the audience is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I would also like to thank the audience of Crypto TV. We at Crypto TV are committed to bring more deeper insights into understanding the various aspects of crypto world. With the promise of bringing more such detailed discussions, I, Parvati Nirvan, is signing off for now. And don't forget to like, share, comment or subscribe Crypto TV on YouTube, Facebook or Instagram. Thank you so much and bye-bye.